Magandang hapon muli Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Ako po si Cathy San Gabriel. At Mark, napakaraming nangyari ngayong buwan ng Agosto. Nariyan yung dinanas nating hagupit ng habagat at itong pagpanaw ni DILG Secretary Jesse Robredo. Pero isa ring magandang nangyari ngayong Agosto, itong pagkakaanunsyo ng appointment nitong si Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno.
Bago itong appointment na ito, Cathy, marami tayong nakitang mga first sa ating bansa. Kumbaga, it's so wonderful to be living during these times dahil marami tayong nakikitang hindi pa nangyari before. Una na yan, first impeachment trial na natapos. Pangalawa, first applications na from outsiders. At pangatlo, yung public interview na televised ng ating bansa. Siyempre, nariyan na yung appointment ni Chief Justice, first female at pinakabata.
Talaga marami nga ang nangyari at maraming first. Ito nga, kauna-unahang babaeng punong mahistrado sa kasaysayan ng ating bansa. Ngunit syempre, hindi nakatakas ang Chief Justice sa mga batikos at intriga sa kanya. Gaya nga ng iyong nabanggit kanina sa report, no? Maraming mga ipinukol at mamaya tatalakayin natin yung mga yan. At ito rin, ito Mark, ano sa tingin mo? Kasi ikaw ay isang abogado at sinasabi nila na talagang itong Korte Suprema ay it's an old boys club, sinasabi nila. Totoo ba ito?
Sa tingin ko, ang Korte Suprema, yung composition niya, yung composition ng Korte Suprema na lang siguro, ay reflection lang din ng ating buong mundo. Yung pag-develop ng partisipasyon ng kababaihan sa ating buong mundo, hindi lamang sa Pilipinas. Siyempre nagsimula yan sa konting partisipasyon or no participation at all. Hindi nga binabilang sa mga census. Ganun din sa ating bansa. Pero over the last how many years, nakikita natin yung change. In fact, reversing. Maraming mga kababaihan ngayon ang nagiging CEOs na po-promote into executive positions in the corporate world. Nakikita din natin yan sa law school. Maraming nag-enroll na kababaihan. Maraming nagtatap ng bar exam na kababaihan. So, ang Korte Suprema, hindi siya iba sa maraming institusyon ng ating bansa. So, sa tingin ko, hindi unique na ganun. At tamang-tama lang na ngayon nga na-appoint si Chief Justice Corona.
Okay, so sa tingin
si
mo...
Chief Justice Sereno, I'm sorry.
So sa tingin mo, ito ay reflection lamang kung ano yung mas malaking nangyayaring pagbabago sa sosyedad?
Correct. Siyempre, meron tayong makakausap ng eksperto, particularly on women's concerns and women's issues.
At makakasama natin ngayon para talakayin itong sa pagkaka-appoint nga kay Chief Justice Sereno sa pwesto mula po sa Judicial and Bar Council, Attorney Milagros Fernan Cayosa. Magandang hapon po.
Magandang hapon, Cathy. Magandang hapon, Mark.
Marami po kaming katanungan doon sa proseso nyo, ma'am, na televised nga for the first time. We're also joined by Attorney Luis Sison from PNCC. Magandang hapon po, sir.
Hapon, Cathy. Sa lahat na ngayong
Okay, kasama din po natin si Ms. Remedios Riquen, ang chairperson ng Philippine Commission for Women.
Magandang hapon sa inyo at sa mga nanonood ngayong hapon.
Kung gaano kahalaga ang appointment ito para sa mga kababaihan, ma'am. Siyempre, pag-usapan po natin maya-maya lamang.
Oh, welcome.
Okay, sa kaliwa po, ito po ay maraming tagahanga. Sinusundan yung kanyang mga sinusulat sa kanyang column. Mr. Conrad D. Quiros, magandang hapon, sir.
Magandang hapon din sa inyo.
Kasama rin natin Mr. GB Gores, ang President ng Student Council Alliance of the Philippines.
At ito po, kilala... Hi, GB, thanks for coming. At kasama din po natin, Attorney JJ Atienza. Ito po yung ating legal advisor council sa PTV4.
Good afternoon, Mark. Good afternoon, Cathy.
Ayan.
At umpisahan na nga natin, Mark, interesado tayong malaman itong naging selection process ng JBC. Sabi mo nga, one of the first in history, naging isina-television po itong proseso ng public interview. Attorney Cayosa, gaano po naging kahirap o kadali ang inyong pagnomina dito sa listahan na isinumite nyo sa Pangulo?
Sa tingin ko, tulong na we became more transparent, no? In the sense na ngayon lang nagkaroon ng live media coverage. Pero ang hindi alam ng karamihan, actually yung aming interview ay always been a panel kapag level ang ninomina. So ang is that ngayon may live coverage at madagdag lang natin, Mark, no, na meron ding social media. Kasi habang pinaganap ang interview, nagkaroon ng
Hello.
sa atin namang mga kasama sa Judicial and Bar Council ay ginamit din nila yung ibang mga katanungan kasi sa tingin nila nakakatulong din ito para magkaroon ng mas magandang kaalaman ang ating publiko tungkol sa mga pangangailangan natin sa hudikatura at sa administration of justice.
Attorney Season, ano naman yung inyong impresyon doon sa kalidad ng interviews na naganap nga na napanood natin on television for the first time?
Palagay ko sa pananaw ng marami at ako rin ay napakabuti na ginawang public yung not public but televised yung interview dahil nakita ng mga mamamayan natin who will be affected by this selection yung kalidad, yung demeanor ng mga applicants at yung demeanor na rin ng mga nag-i-interview kasi hindi nila nalalaman kung sino ang nag-i-interview niyan. So, for transparency's sake, napakaganda ho yung nangyari na yun na naging public and on TV yung interview.
At matapos nga ito ay pumili na ang Pangulo mula dito sa shortlist na isinumbinte ng JBC at isang babae nga ang napili. Naalala ko lang, Mark, nung kino-cover natin itong interview, itong public interviews, no? Tinanong ko ang isa sa ating mga guests, sabi niya, at sabi ko, sa tingin mo ba ay malapit na tayo magkaroon ng babaeng Chief Justice? At sabi niya, malamang hindi ngayon, pero nalalapit na. And medyo nakakagulat nga na babae ang napili. Tanungin natin kay Miss Riken, ano po ang reaksyon nyo dito?
Siyempre natuwa ang mga kawimenan, tawag nga namin.
Kawimenan po.
Yun ang aming expression sa women's. At the same time, nung kasing 1986 to 94, ako yung executive director ng dating ang tawag ay National Commission on the Role of Filipino Women. Inappoint ako ni President Aquino and reappointed by President Ramos. Tapos bigla akong naalala na meron nga pala akong pinagawang research na ang gumawa ay part siya ng team. Itong ating Justice Sireno ngayon, part siya ng team kasi pareho silang associate professor ng College of Law UP, silang dalawa ni Miss Attorney Mira Feliciano at saka siya, assisted by Yvette Navarro, na pinagawa namin sila ng a gender analysis of Philippine laws. Kaya dala-dala ko ngayon, sabi ko dapat mabasa ko uli itong libro na to. So, kasama na namin siya right at the very beginning ng NCRFW, na ngayon ang pangalan ay Philippine Commission on Women. Kaya natutuwa kami. Meron na siyang pananaw noong paman in terms of gender and the law.
Gusto ko itanong kay Sir Conrad. Ang observation, Sir Conrad, na marami ay si Presidente Noynoy ay meron siyang preference for women. Kung for critical positions na rin niya nga, Supreme Court, BIR, COA, DOJ, binibigay niya sa kababaihan. What does this tell us of this President?
Wala, siguro mga babae mas honest.
Tama ka dyan.
Pero I guess, but I think more than that, I think ang basis niya, yung qualifications naman ng mga tao. Tapos I think also kasi, nagkataon na he's picking those people kasi he wants to change things. Hindi ba parang ang buong trajectory niya, hindi na more of the same. He wants reform, he wants change. At ang mga kinukuha niya actually, ito yung mga palaban. Mga tao, kahit naman si Sereno, makita mo yung mga decisions niya. They've been, di ba, may pagka-maverick yung decisions niya, dissenting opinion niya lagi. And that's true, I think, of the other positions na babae kinuha niya.
Parang, the next question is, ang sinasabi po ba natin na women are better change agents?
In this particular case, yes, because they think differently. Pero yung tinatanong niya kanina na yung sa significance na babae yung Chief Justice, alam mo, kung titignan mo, nakakarami na tayo compare mo sa US. Ang US, wala pang babaeng presidente. Tayo nakakaisa't kalahati na. Yung kalahati walang kinalaman sa height. May kinalaman sa first 3 years, legitimate. Tapos the last 6 years.
Yung kalahati na yun, napakabigat nun.
Maraming ibig sabihin po yun, Sir Conrad.
Pero totoo yun. Marami, may mga ganyan tayong mga pero kung minsan may isip mo, token lang ba to? Kasi sa US, yung laws talaga nila about women, makita mo, pantay talaga. Dito, I think Sereno's work is cut out for her kasi you've got laws na for instance, sa mga kasal, yung pagka-lalaki, pag nahuli ka, Ay hindi necessarily pagka babae nahuli ka, that's adultery. Pag lalaki, unless concubinage lang yan, and unless talaga repeatedly ginagawa mo yung ganyan, hindi ka prosecutable. May mga ganyan laws na talagang hindi pantay ang laban.
Oo, okay.
At nabanggit na rin lang ni Sir Conrad yung reforms. Tanungin natin sa representante ng mga estudyante, ano bang reforma sa hudikatura ang ninanais nyo makita? Kasi nakita nyo na yung impeachment, nakita nyo na yung selection process. Anong reforma ang ninanais ninyo?
There are two very striking characteristics of Chief Justice Sereno. Yung una is she is the youngest Chief Justice appointed, and then the second one is she's also a woman. Yung first characteristic being the youngest, I think she has the most capacity to deliver reforms inside the judiciary. Dahil nga marami siyang dissenting opinion and then may pagka-maverick nga siya, makikita natin na meron siyang thrust towards the reforms na I think very complementary sa ginagawa ng presidente. I'm not giving an opinion on, if she is a puppet of the president or not, but I think it's very complementary sa ginagawa ngayon ng Pangulo. The second one, yung sa kanyang gender, I think yung time din ngayon na pinagdidebatihan ang reproductive health bill, and then magiging isa sa mga debate nito once it get passed into a law is yung kanyang constitutionality. So I think to have a female chief justice has a bearing on kung ano yung i-rule ng Supreme Court regarding this. So yun yung mga reforma na gustong makita ng mga kabataan inside judiciary and at the same time outside the judiciary in terms of delivering social justice, no? So ganun.
Attorney JJ, ang appointment sa Supreme Court isang babae, daming lalaki, ano? Pero sa yung kabuuan ng mga grupo ng abogado sa ating bansa or sa judiciary na, sa judicial branch ng ating gobyerno, makikita po ba natin na meron ding change towards greater participation of women?
Kitang-kita natin, sa law school na lang, makikita mo yung demographics na mas marami na ring estudyanteng babae sa abogasya, na kumukuha ng abogasya. Ngayon, pagdating naman sa lawyering, mas marami ka na rin nakikita ngayon sa korte ng mga litigators na babae. So dito pa lang, representative na siya na eto na yung change na ang babae, nakikialam na talaga. Hindi na ito all boys club o all men's club lang. The legal profession also has the voice of women heard very loudly.
Very loudly.
Very loudly talaga dahil siya ang pinuno ng Korte Suprema at ng Hudikatura. Samantala po ay merong ilang mga katanungan mula sa aming kasamang si Kirby Cristobal. Kirby?
Maraming salamat sa inyo, Cathy at Attorney Mark Castrodes. Siyempre, makakasama natin mula naman sa mga estudyante ang Polytechnic University of the Philippines College of Communication. At siyempre, kanina nakausap ko sila at ang katanungan nga nila, para lang malinawan sila kung malaman nila kung ano nga ba yung gagawin nitong pag-upo ng bago nating Chief Justice Sereno. Unang may katanungan si Glian Ponte ng PUP. Glian?
Ayan, magandang hapon po sa lahat. Nais ko lang po tanungin kung sang-ayon po ba kayo sa dignified silence para kay CJ Sereno? Paano naman po yung transparency na ipinapangako nila?
Okay, kanino mo gustong tanongin yan?
Dignified silence has something to do with the office of the president. Ito yung, siyempre, opisina ng executive, ano? Tanungin siguro natin yung part ng executive department, ma'am.
Ano po ito? Hindi ko masyadong naintindihan
Kasi,
yung...
background, Cathy.
Kasi di ba yung mga talagang mahistrado ng Korte Suprema ay hindi naman talaga nagpapa-interview. Yung bang ibig mong sabihin? Okay, di ba?
Yun din.
In the past, may veil of, may shroud of mystery. So, as opposed to transparency, na
Correct.
siyang hinahanap nga natin, kaya nga nagkaroon ng impeachment
Kasi ito yung
trial.
meron siyempreng mga binabato sa kanyang mga kontrobersya, tapos medyo nanahimik siya at Malacanang respected this, yung dignified
Yes.
silence. Ano po ang tingin nyo doon, ma'am? And then after, si attorney.
Nung binasa ko nga yung libro ni Maris na ano ba ang kultura ng Supreme Court, na dapat yata medyo angat sila, hindi sila masyadong nakikipagsosyalan, lalo na kung ang mga kasama doon sa mga party or socials na ina-attendan nila ay mga kasong under them, no? Nung ko rin ganun pala ito, mahirap palang maging member ng Supreme Court, di ba? Pero there are other ways by which they can express ang gusto nila, kung may ano man ang gusto nilang mangyari na special forum ng judiciary. Kasi hindi lang naman magsisimula dito eh. Ever since Narbasa's time, nung nagkaroon po ng interest ang mga World Bank, ATB, other donors on judicial reform, marami na pong mga naging project na how do we improve the situation in the judiciary.
Okay, gusto magdagdag ni Mama Attorney Cayosa, ma'am.
Okay. Kasama din sa trabaho ng Judicial and Bar Council na to ensure that may independence at saka may probity ang isang miyembro ng judikatura, including the justices, especially the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Ang isa kasing requirement, no, is that when you decide cases, you can do so independently and you are not bound by whatever statements you may have made. Kaya alam mo yung dignified silence, and I'm happy to note that they parang binalikan nila yung sa panahon ng ama ko na si Chief Justice Marcelo Fernan. Kasi nung panahon na yon wala tayong spokesperson. It's the decision of the court that would speak for the Supreme Court. The resolutions, the decisions, the orders. Walang spokesperson. Kasi, syempre, bawat tao may kanyang interpretasyon kung paano ang desisyon, no? Ang isa pang significant dito, no, when she mentioned yung dignified silence, she being a woman, may tendency tayo na medyo mas madaldal eh. Kaya, mas maganda na isulat na lang natin kung ano yung dapat nating gustong ipahiwatig sa publiko with respect to an actual controversy.
Ma'am, pero within the context of itong ang mga akusasyon laban sa kanya, sa kanyang appointment
And the
pa rin.
clamor for transparency.
Oo. So paano natin pagbibigyan yung need for transparency without sacrificing yung dignified silence rule? Is it time for her to not explain anymore ngayon na na-appoint na siya?
When you make a decision, it should always be sound. May basis in fact and in law. Alam naman natin yan, Mark, no? At sa lahat ng mga abogado. And I think that and this is, I think, what the court would want to express now, that when they make decisions, it will really be there will be basis in law. No? So there will be a rule of law. Kasi one of the criticisms was that medyo nagkakaroon tayo ng sketchy interpretation of the law, which is what the Supreme Court is supposed to do. So I don't think it's a step backwards. It's really just setting the tone na ito ang magiging sabihin na natin patakaran, and that the court will have to express itself clearly through its decisions.
Okay.
Kirby?
Alright, bukod syempre sa mga estudyante natin dito sa loob ng studio ay nakakatanggap din tayo ng mga katanungan mula sa Twitter at Facebook account o sa mga social networking sites. Unang nagtatanong ay, is it possible that we could also see the bank account of CJ Sereno? Matapos nga yung naging controversial na paglilitis dito kay CJ Corona, tinatanong ng ating mga Twitter friends kung mailalabas ba yung bank accounts ni CJ Sereno?
Attorney Louie naman ang sumagot. Is it possible po ba meron bang rule na ganyan amongst the members of the Supreme Court na required silang ilabas yung kanilang mga bank accounts?
At least nilabas na nila yung SALN nila.
Nalabas na.
Itong
Pero
bank
yung
account ang katanungan.
Before I answer the question, just a little bit of a historical correction. Chief Justice Sereno is not the youngest Chief Justice. It was Chief Justice Manuel Moran, who was 51 years old when he was appointed as Chief Justice. Of course, he did not stay for 19 years, but Justice Sereno, Chief Justice, will stay on for 18 years. Now, in response to the question, I think that the law on bank accounts is that it is sacred. It must have the consent of the holder of the bank account before it can be opened. So it is an individual decision on the part of the justices. Unlike the SALN, which is required. It was only the Supreme Court itself that decided that SALN should not be made public. Although, I believe that it should be made public. Now, as far as bank accounts are concerned, inasmuch as there is already a move towards making public the SALNs, in fact, it has already come out, I think that it is probably best that the chief justices when they, or the justices, the chief justice when they are appointed, that they already sign a waiver for the opening of the bank accounts. I think that is the need of the time today, because the Supreme Court must make moves to restore the dignity of the Supreme Court that was once upon a time. Hindi na ngayon, di ba? So kailangan siguro para makita ng tao na sincere talaga, pumirma na sila ng waiver kung talagang wala silang tinatago, di ba?
Yes. Kathy, let's go to the meat of yung issue ng judicial reform talaga, no? Ito nga, naupo na siya. Tapos na yung search, tapos na yung pagbabatikos kung sino siya, ano yung past niya. Na-appoint na siya. 18 years in service. Attorney JJ, napakalawak nung pangangailangan na baguhin in terms of judicial reform. Pero during the interview process, maraming suggestions on the use of technology for the docketing system. Anong sa tingin mo ang pwedeng mga immediate reforms na dapat ipatupad?
Yung kagaya nung sinabi ni Chief Justice Sereno na what she wanted to do is to make it, to lessen the use of paper. Kasi not only for environment concerns, napakahirap kasi yung magsasubmit ka ng pleading na 17 copies. Parang aanin nila yung 17 copies. Ang petition po sa Supreme Court, minsan po ay mga ganito
200
kakapal.
pages.
200 pages,
So it's not
100
very
pages.
environment friendly either.
Oh, yes.
Exactly, no? Pero siguro it's quite, it will take a long time. Kaya nga humingi siya ng oras para tuparin niya lahat ng ito dahil hindi magiging ganun kadali. Tandaan natin na ang Supreme Court ay dependent rin sa mga budget na kulang din sa budget ito. So kailangan nilang hanapan ng paraan para magawa ng budget yung pagko-computerize ng lahat ng bagay na gagawin nila.
We are joined now by Attorney Trixie Angeles, ang tagapagsalita po ng Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Welcome back, Attorney Trixie.
Salamat po. Welcome. Magandang hapon sa inyo lahat.
Attorney Trixie, yun na rin ang itatanong ko sa iyo. Napakarami ng kailangang baguhin sa hudikatura. Sa iyo, ano sa tingin mo yung pinaka-feasible at maaaring gawin na madali, na mabilis na panahon?
Kasi dahil sa dami, medyo mahirap yung pinakamadali at kasi iba yung pinaka-pressing eh. For example, nakikita natin ang pinaka-pressing yung pag-declog ng docket. Ang daming kaso, ang dami-daming kaso at dahil sa rules, humahaba talaga. Maswerte ka kung meron kang kasong matapos within 6 months. Summary na yung procedure mo na yun. Ibig sabihin, pinaikli na ng Supreme Court, pinadalian na nila, in-establish na nila yung mga rules para mas madali. But as it is, 6 na buwan pa rin ang pinakamaikling proseso.
Saan kaya yun, Attorney Trixie? Sa buong practice ko.
Ina-awardan yung mga judge na gano'n nakaka-decide within 6 months. But ang point is, ang pinaka-pressing talaga ang pag-declog ng court dockets. Dahil wala nang hustisya pag masyadong matagal. Kawawa pareho yung litigants. At mas kawawa talaga kapag criminal na yung kaso at nakakulong yung akusado. So in this case, pinaka-pressing talaga na ma-address ng punong mahistrado ang pag-declog ng dockets. I'm not saying na kailangan gawin na niya ito ngayon. Lahat naman ng mga mahistrado ng Korte Suprema nag-a-attempt na ayusin ito. In her case kasi she has time and she has youth on her side. Bata pa siya eh. So, in her case, baka may chance na kaya niyang pursigihin talaga at pagtiyagaan itong problema na ito.
Itong 18 years nga nabanggit, itong magiging pag-upo nitong si Chief Justice Sereno sa pwesto. Gusto kong malaman kay Mr. Conrad, itong 18 years na pag-upo na, do you think this would be an advantage or disadvantage? Kasi nung umpisa pa lang, nababatikos na siya tungkol dito.
Meron, I think, it's good and bad. Pag nilagay mo dyan isang tao talagang power mad, delikado. Because in effect, si Sereno will have the equivalent of 3 presidential terms. That's 18 years. Maglagay ko dyan isang power mad na tao, lalaki ang ulo and can become tyrannical. On the other hand, kung matino ka naman, and yung dissenting opinions ni Sereno would tend to indicate that she's mas ganun siya kaysa the other kind. I think it can be a good thing kasi magkakaroon ka ng continuity sa mga decisions eh. Hindi kagaya ngayon na you're ruling with finality, tapos bigla mo na bubuksan. Kalukuhan yung ganyan. At least pag may ganyan, if you're dealing with the Marcoses, the Arroyos, and you're prosecuting them, hindi kagaya ng dati na hintay mo lang the next Chief Justice, okay ka na. Pwede mo nang baguhin yung decision. Ngayon, I think, given na isang tao lang will be sitting there for 18 years, pag nag-decide yung court ni Sereno, may guilty itong taong ito, hindi basta-basta mababago. And that's the good thing about it. It can really end up prosecuting the people who ought to be prosecuted.
Correct. At kasama natin isang representante ng mga abogado din sa ating bansa, practicing litigating Attorney Bong Ifurong. Magandang hapon, Attorney Bong. Itong Attorney Bong, ito naman, pulso, galing po sa mga abogado nagpa-practice, ano po. Are you hopeful na under itong term ni Chief Justice Sereno, magiging maganda ang takbo talaga ng judiciary?
Personally, I'm very hopeful. Very impressive yung credentials ni Chief Justice, di ba? So, I think that let's just give her a chance. Palagi naman akong ganun eh. There's always a remedy just in case she does not do well. Diba?
Napatunayan na natin.
Napatunayan na natin. So, ako, I'm really for the Chief Justice, tsaka I hope she'll do good. Tsaka she's just one of 15. So she couldn't be, unlike yung office of the President or yung mga one-man position, di ba? The office of the Chief Justice is really, should we say, democratic eh. It's one voice of 5 or of 15, just in case of an en banc decision. So, and I think her appointment would stabilize the judiciary.
18 years eh.
18 years.
Thank you, Attorney Bong.
Merong
Hopefully.
follow-up. Yes, may follow-up si Ms. Vivian.
Siguro wag nating iasa sa isang tao ang judicial reform. Kasi po, pinag-aralan na namin, part kami noong nung pinag-aralan under Narbasa Court. There was a meeting I attended as part of that research project. Nakausap namin lahat ng Dean of the College of Law. Anong sabi nila? Something is wrong with the way we are educating lawyers in this country. Nakaraan namin around a month ago, tinutukan kasi ng UN Women ang access to justice. So nagkaroon kami ng conference dito sa UP. Tinanong ko na naman ito, no? Doon sa mga lawyers na nando doon. Ano po ang sagot niyo doon sa kasi hindi nadampot yan eh. Maganda yung research na yan. Ano sabi nila? Kasi the way we are educating lawyers in this country, para lang makapasa sa bar. Kaya konting-konti ang mga topic sa ethics, proper conduct, attitude as a lawyer, no? Baka yun dapat, kagaya po nung sa batas natin, ang mahihirap, ang talagang hirap pagka nagkaroon ng kaso sa court. Kaya may magandang pinomeno sa Pilipinas, yung alternative law groups.
That's right.
These are young men and women lawyers trying to save the poor from litigation.
That's right. Opo.
Dapat pag-usapan natin yun. Huwag natin itutok lang sa kanya kasi kailangan niyan lahat ng tulong natin.
Opo, kailangan po talaga ng tulong natin. Although, Cathy, nabanggit yun during the interview, maalala mo, napakagandang series of questions yun on legal ethics. Pero yung debate doon on whether you really can teach ethics or whether that's the job of the
Yes.
priests to form our character ay napakalaking issue. Kaya mapunta muna ako siguro doon sa isang practical question. Isa sa nakikitang rason kung bakit napakabagal, ma'am, is the sheer yung ratio ng number of citizens versus number of judges. Ibig sabihin, kulang na kulang yung huwes sa ating bansa. Kaya nalo-load masyado sila ng trabaho. I heard sa Taguig, 1,000 plus citizens for one judge. So ano po ang problema? Bakit hindi po tayo makapag-appoint ng mga sapat na huwes at sapat na courtrooms? Yes, ma'am.
Now, the JBC is trying to address that. First of all, nung na-appoint kami last year, ang nadatnan namin is 25% of the vacancies. No, there are still 25% positions of the judiciary that are vacant. So, bakit nagkaroon ng ganong kalaking vacancy rate sa ating hudikatura? There was a policy, this is what we already encountered when we first joined the JBC, na those courts that have caseload of less than 50, hindi na fini-fill up. So usually these are in areas na medyo malalayo.
So that is why it accounts for the high rate of vacancy. Second, there are places, like nakailang publication na kami, walang nag-a-apply sa Tawi-Tawi. Okay? So and our dilemma is we have to have at least 3 names to be submitted to Malacanang from which the president...
Are you saying, ma'am, it's a problem of no applicants?
In certain
In some
areas.
places.
There's ano nga eh.
Siguro
Kasi
in
in
areas
some
with
areas,
conflict.
Oo naman.
Lalo na
Pero
pag
dun
Metro
sa mga Manila
Ay,
City,
nako,
Taguig,
you have 40, 50,
Makati.
60. Okay? But I think I'm hopeful. Why? First of all, no, with respect to ratio, malapit na magkakaroon ng gender equality in terms of women because about 51% are male, so 49%, so 1% na lang na there will be equal number of women judges as there are men judges. In the JBC, with the appointment of Chief Justice Sereno, we will have attained that 50-50 equality. Dahil 4 na kaming babae at 4 na lalaki, assuming that we will maintain that composition of 8. Okay? And because, why am I hopeful? Because in the course of our interview, makikita mo naman na medyo mas detalye ang babae. When it comes to cleaning up the courts, no, physically at saka sa docket, they make sure that the court docket is complete, yung kanyang mga records, and that actually helps. And dahil nga, no, our mother instincts also encourage us alternative dispute resolution. Okay? Kasi yan, ang maganda sa alternative dispute resolution, hindi na magkakaroon ng appeal ng kaso. On the trial court level, pag na-decide na yan on the basis of an amicable settlement, nag-uusap-usap ang mga partido with the help of a mediator, court annex mediation or judicial dispute resolution, there will be an end to the controversy. So, etong mga kaso na to, lalo na yung maliliit yung pinag-uusapan, hindi na aabot sa Korte Suprema. So that the Supreme Court can just attend to the more pressing and national concerns that are pending before it.
Okay, marami pang katanungan mula sa ating mga social network accounts. Balikan natin si Kirby.
Cathy, lumalalim na nga yung tinatalakay natin tungkol sa judicial reforms. Unahin na muna natin yung mga estudyante ulit ng PUP. May katanungan na si Vanessa Jane Montes. Vanessa?
Yes, hello, good afternoon po sa lahat. Gusto ko lang po sana malaman kung pabor po kayo na ang Pangulo lamang ang namimili ng Chief Justice o mas okay na JBC ang mamili.
Okay, tanungin na lang natin yung kapwa mo estudyante, Mr. Gores.
Ako, isa yun sa mga reforma sana on how we tend to depoliticize the Supreme Court. So, bigyan ng less and less influence yung executive in terms of the affairs of the judiciary. So, categorically, I do not agree in principle na yung presidente lang yung nag-a-appoint sa Chief Justice ng Supreme Court.
There is, of course, the issue of checks and balances, Attorney Louie. Ano po ang pwedeng mangyari? Dahil siyempre, medyo nagka-konting bangayan yung executive and judiciary nitong mga nakaraang buwan. Ano po? How can we move forward with this new Chief Justice, this new, with this president na talagang committed to reforms?
Those are two separate functions. Once a case is lodged in the judiciary, the executive loses any kind of jurisdiction over the case. Of course, that's in theory. Okay, it can happen that the president does retain, and that's why there is a controversy. But in the case of Chief Justice Sereno's appointment, I think that she should be given every chance. She has made a categorical statement that she will not be a lackey of the president. She will maintain her independence. At kagaya ng sinabi na kanina, bigyan natin siya ng pagkakataon. Her actions will speak for themselves. And although my friend Conrad says good and bad yan, kung magaling siya, baka kulang ang 18 years kasi maraming reformang gagawin. Kung masama naman, napatunayan na natin meron namang remedyo na
There's always impeachment.
Yes, oo. So, I think the system as it is today can stay as it is. Let it's a question more of people than systems. So if the president, as Pinoy says that he will maintain his influence on the court after he makes the appointment, let's believe that.
Okay.
And if the Chief Justice says, I will maintain my independence, let's also believe that until the contrary is proven.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, let's give it a chance. Eka nga. Kirby, meron pa katanungan?
Meron pa from Facebook account naman ni Alvin Alcantara. Ang tanong naman niya regarding sa Hacienda Luisita Farmers daw ay natatakot ngayon sa pag-upo nitong bagong CJ natin. Baka balik na rin daw yung desisyon tungkol sa Luisita case. So, Hacienda Luisita case. So, ano daw po yung posibilidad na mangyari ito?
Tanong natin kay Attorney Trixie from IBP. Attorney Trixie, ano bang status niyan and how can the Chief Justice in her capacity as CJ possibly influence that decision?
Sa pagkakaintindi ko, tapos na yung kaso eh. So, nagkaroon nga ng decision at sumulat ng separate concurring decision ang ngayong punong mahistrado ng Korte Suprema. Nung siya ay Associate Justice, ang kanyang separate at concurring opinion ay taasan ang valuation para dun sa compensation ng mga landowners. Pero sang-ayon siya dun sa main decision na ipamigay at i-distribute ang lupa ng Hacienda Luisita. So, kailangan yata liwanagin, hindi yata naiintindihan ng karamihan na ang opinion ng ngayong punong mahistrado ay sang-ayon dun sa mayorya. So, at any rate, tapos na yung kaso na yon at pinal na ang decision pending unless meron pang...
So walang basihan yung kanilang pangamba, Attorney Trixie?
Ang pangamba na bubuksan uli, mababa ang possibility kasi unless merong subsequent na MR. But as far as we know, tapos na ang kaso na yon, meron na siyang decision.
Gaya nga ng nasabi ng ating mga panauhin, Mark, marami pang reformang kinakailangan gawin sa hudikatura. Yan mamaya ang pag-uusapan natin sa pagbabalik ng aming special forum.
GSIS member ka ba? May mga tanong ka ba sa mga benepisyo mo? Alam mo na ba yung mga bagong serbisyong para sa'yo bilang miyembro? Sali na sa usapan tuwing Biyernes at Sabado ng gabi. GSIS Members All.
Hatid ay serbisyo para sa manggagawang Pilipino. The GSIS Members Hour kasama si VP Marge Horillo at Manager Bo Sanchez. Dito lang sa inyong People's Television Network. Tayong lahat gustong umangat. Diskarte, tibay ng loob, at tamang gabay lang ang kailangan. Tutok na sa programang katuwang nyo sa pag-asenso.
Ito ang Asenso Pinoy.
Tuwing Sabado ng umaga at Linggo ng hapon. Dito lamang sa inyong People's Television Network. Gising na ang inyong bagong pampagana sa umaga. Metro 1. Kumpleto na ang inyong almusal na pinapainit pa ng malawakang balitaan. Bagong kaalaman, masayang kamustahan, pasyalan at serbisyong bubusog sa puso at isipan. Kasama ang inyong everyday ka-Metro. Maki-Metro 1 na sa umaga. Dito lang sa inyong telebisyon ng bayan.
Siguro it's time na mabibigyan ng pagkakataon yung mga babae na ipakita kung anong kaya nilang gawin, and siguro mas magiging maayos yung system natin this time kasi babae yung magpapatakbo.
I would say effective din because alam naman natin ang credentials. At the same time, she has that experiences, and that's a good foundation. That's a better way to put our hope and trust to the current judicial system.
Bibigyan muna natin siya ng chance para maipakita yung kakayahan ni ma'am, yung bagong justice natin ngayon, kung ano yung may papakita niya sa sambayanan ng Pilipino.
Siyempre proud kasi girl ako, babae ako. Tsaka first time. Tsaka tingin ko she's okay. Okay naman. Okay lang. As long as ginagampanan niya ang tamang pagpapatupad ng batas.
You are watching a PTV special forum on the new Chief Justice. Pinag-uusapan po natin, Cathy, ang judicial reform. At gusto ko nga ituloy ang ating discussion tungo naman dito sa pangangailangan natin ng independence, ng integrity and probity. No? Yun yung parang nabahira nga ng bahagya ang Supreme Court dahil sa mga kaganapan dito sa mga nakaraang mga buwan. Gusto ko itanong kay Sir Conrad, anong pwedeng gawin ng bagong leadership ng Supreme Court, Sir Conrad? In the light of internet, Facebook, Twitter, yung impression ng tao can be shaped so quick. Ano mo pwedeng gawin?
Ako hindi pa ako dun sa form eh. O yung pwedeng gawin ng Supreme Court, nasa ano ako, content. Kasi I think the reforms that you need, content-wise, ibase mo lang dun sa mga nangyayari ngayon. You've got cases like nung plagiarism ni Mariano del Castillo. You've got cases like yung Sapal, na 3 beses na ruling with finality, ibubuksan mo pa uli. These things need to be changed, and I'm glad, for instance, that si Sereno voted against them in both cases. Pero maliban dyan sa dalawang yan, I think the most important one is, kunin na lang natin dun sa impeachment trial. Ang problema kasi dito ngayon, yung gamit natin ng batas. Yung gamit natin ng batas, halos walang kinalaman sa hustisya o sa katarungan. Tinan mo dun sa impeachment, kapag ka magaling ka abogado and you can cite all these legal precedents, mananalo ka. Walang kinalaman yan dun sa maalala mo din yung panahon ni Marcos. Si Marcos had a law for practically everything. Yet we were the most lawless country in the world. Tapos we had no justice in this country. And yet, ang dami nating batas, kaliwat kanan. I think that has to be changed. Na finally, dapat ang gawin natin, gamitin natin yung batas, paraan, para magkaroon tayo ng katarungan. After all, yung law is just a means to an end. It's a means toward justice. Yan ang nakalimutan And that is the one thing I think that dapat tutukan ng bagong court.
Tama yun. Gaya nga ng sabi kanina, during the time of Justice Fernan, the decision will speak for itself. Hindi na kailangan ipaliwanag, hindi na kailangan i-Twitter man o i-Facebook.
Gaya nga ng sinasabi rin ni Sir Conrad, it boils down to the quality of the judges that we have. Itong integrity, independence, probity, how does JBC ensure that the candidates for the positions have these when these are qualities that cannot be measured?
Now you know why our job is very challenging. We are expected to know and to find out if they do. But in the course of doing our duty as mandated by the Constitution, to submit the nominees who have competence, integrity, probity, and independence. That's why, if you remember, when we published the vacancy, and then there were those who submitted mga recommendations, we also require them to submit so many documentary requirements, because this is really to address competence, no, to find out if they have the necessary background, yung mga trainings, yung mga experience for the judicial position. Since the topic is on judicial reform, can we not zero in not just on the Chief Justice,
Yes,
but
yes.
also
Yeah,
on
that-
the...
Definitely,
para
the
sa
judges.
lahat na rin
Yeah,
yun,
para
no?
sa lahat. Kasi pag sinasabi natin, no, pati ang siniscreen ng JBC ay kasama po yung mga trial court judges. So sa kanila, we also find out, no, in fact, para lang alam nyo, pag medyo mataas-taas na yung position, particularly sa regional trial court, if they have taken the bar 3 times, 4 times, automatic na yan. Hindi na namin i-include because, which means maybe in sa educational background nila, nagkaroon sila ng problema, no, sa kanilang pag-aaral ng law. So we exclude them already. But there are compensating factors. Like for instance, if they take up the prejudicature program that is institutionalized by the PhilJA at mataas ang rating nila doon, pwedeng i-offset yan. Because that is to address competence. Ang pinaka-importante dyan is integrity and independence. So, we also, for the lower courts, we avoid, like for instance, kung ikaw ay isang prosecutor na assigned sa City of Manila, it will be very difficult for you to be assigned as a judge in Manila also because medyo meron ka ng mga connections. So, we encourage them to apply elsewhere. This was the rule way back when, no, na kapag ikaw ay isang huwes na dyan sa area na yan, tapos marami kang kaso, lalo na kung single sala siya, we don't encourage them to apply for the vacancy in the higher court, no, so RTC, kapag in the same station. So we try to invite them to apply elsewhere. So this is one way of maintaining the independence, lalo na kung nakikita namin na even sa local government units, they have already established connections. That's just to prevent them. And also, ang isa pang problema, no, would be in matters of integrity. We look into the cases that were filed against the applicants. That is why there is that rule na kapag merong regular administrative case, lalo na kung itong kaso ay tungkol sa integrity, hindi talaga sila pwedeng i-consider.
And you will stand by that rule, ma'am, and defend that rule.
Until it is revised or changed, then we will have to apply it uniformly.
Let's bring, sir, we will get the thoughts of Sir Louis a while ago, but let's bring in the crowd into the discussion. Ano po, wala tayong paraan, Cathy, para mahingin ng opinion yung ating mga kababayan. Mas nakararaming nanonood, but we have polls na para somehow to get their opinion on certain issues.
Ito po, ang unang katanungan, what should the new Chief Justice or what should new Chief Justice Sereno prioritize in the Supreme Court? 48% ang nagsasabing bring back court credibility.
29% nagsasabing judicial reform and speed up trials.
At 24% hindi ko masyado makita, no?
Eradicate corruption.
Ayun, eradicate corruption in court. So talagang malaki yung pagpapabilis ng hustisya, no? Itong ikalawang tanong, mananatili pa ba pagiging independent ng Supreme Court sa pagtalaga kay Chief Justice Lourdes Sereno bilang bagong Chief Justice? 81% ang nagsasabing oo at 18.57% ang nagsasabing hindi.
Isa pa pong katanungan, do you agree with President Aquino's decision to appoint Associate Justice Lourdes Sereno as Chief Justice? Ang nagsabing yes, 82.87%, no, 17.13%.
How would you rate Pinoy's choice of Maria Lourdes Sereno as the new Chief Justice? 67.53% said very good, 11.69% said good, 11% said average, 6% said very bad, and 4% said bad.
Cathy, kilalanin natin ng mas malalim itong ating bagong Chief Justice. Naghanda po kami ng isang video para makilala natin ang bagong Chief Justice ng Korte Suprema ng ating bansa. Let's watch this.
Kasi ang kaya kong ibigay dito ay isang buhay na mayroon pong vision, judiciary. Meron po akong buhay na makikilala po at ito po ay dahil lamang po sa Panginoon. Courage po, nandun po. At isa pong buhay of accountability. Ayoko po ng isang personalistic na panunungkulan. Umaari o it is a community shared vision.
Yan po, napanood po natin bahagi nitong naging public interview dito kay then Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Ngayon, Chief Justice na.
Attorney Louie, anong na-feel nyo while watching that?
I think it is too short a presentation
Bitin ba, bitin?
to
Very bright
justify
answer.
educated opinion.
That's
about
why I
the
asked the
Chief
question, what did you feel while watching that?
Well, para sa akin, I feel that the chief, I have no gender bias. I always look at the person as to whether they are qualified or not, the process that was undertaken for the choosing of the Chief Justice, and if the best qualified Chief Justice is a woman, so be it. That's the decision of the President. We have to respect that. She is the Chief Justice, and I think she should get the support of everybody. Until and unless she proves otherwise, I think she deserves all the support because there is a lot of reforms that need to be done in the judiciary.
Ito nga, Mark, nakita natin itong resulta ng mga survey. Gusto ko malaman ng reaksyon naman ni Attorney Ifurong. Kasi Attorney Ifurong, narinig niyo po itong resulta ng mga survey na binasa namin kanina. Nanggaling po tayo sa isang impeachment trial at napatalsik nga po ang dating punong mahistrado. Ano po masasabi niyo dito naman sa reaksyon ng taong bayan dito sa mga tanong dun sa mga internet surveys?
Yeah, ako, naniniwala. Kasi sa akin, yung impeachment, whatever my position or whatever our position, tapos na yun eh. Let's move on. Talagang ganon. Kung tama yun o mali, let's just forget about it. Tapos na yan. So, from the start kasi, hindi ako naniniwala sa mga survey. Especially, very limited yan. Tsaka, parang sa Philippines kasi, hindi masyadong credible yung survey. I'm sorry to say that,
O sige, sikat ni JJ na.
Kung ano lang yung sinasabi ng nagpa-survey, binayaran or very skeptical ako dyan. I'm sorry to say that halos wala.
Pero skeptical po ba kayo doon sa sinasabi na meron tayong kailangan na changes doon sa estado ng korupsyon sa judiciary? So naniniwala po kayo sa need na yun?
Naniniwala ako na there should be. I always believe in reforms, changes, kasi kailangan talaga ng isang like the Chief Justice, napakabata niya, so pwede siyang maging maverick dito, so to speak, di ba na she could do a lot of things, kasi unang-una, secure na sa position na, so she just wait, do good, di ba? Dito, kasi pag nagkamali si Chief Justice, I'm sure marami siyang hindi pa niya ginagawa yun, nasa dyaryo na. I believe that na, di ba, sa dami ng na overtake niya na senior justices, iniisip pa lang niya na gumawa ng kung kalokohan man yan, nasa dyaryo na kaagad yun. So, it's very difficult for her to do wrong intentionally. She could commit mistake but not intentionally. I would be very sure of that.
Okay.
Kung iniisip pa lang niya yung she could not even talk about it. Iniisip mo pa lang. So, I have good high respect and talagang malaking tiwala ako sa siguro talagang it's divine providence. I never thought na she would be appointed. Who would ever, di ba? Napakabata ka. It's just older than me by several months.
Okay.
So,
talaga?
Oo, di ba?
Okay, may reaction naman si Jimmy.
It's destiny. I think it's destiny. So, let's hope na talagang very upbeat ako sa pagka-appoint niya.
Okay.
Kasi kailangan talaga na Sabi ko nga, dapat nga presidente, not more than 40
Attorney Bong,
years
bigyan
old.
natin chance si GB.
Okay,
Let's take the survey as it is. It was an internet survey. No, I think coming from the impeachment trial, makita natin the trust played a really big role in terms of how the Supreme Court is perceived by the public. Makita natin sa unang survey kanina na the other kung ano yung gusto natin na pagtuunan ng pansin ni Chief Justice Sereno. Tatlo yung choices. Yung una is yung credibility, yung pangalawa is yung corruption sa mga korte, at yung pangatlo is yung pag-declog ng mga dockets or pag-expedite ng judicial process. Yung the other two is gravitating towards the credibility of the judicial system. And I think that's very important na kung saan if you don't deliver, if you don't expedite the process in the Supreme Court or in our judiciary, and at the same time if there is a perceived parang cover of mystery sa ating mga justices, nababawasan ang kanyang credibility. So, yun yung mga kailangan nating pagtuunan din ng pansin, no, bilang mga tao. And at the same time, meron kasing pedagogical tawag dito, instructional na value ang Supreme Court. It is the supreme arbiter, no? Sa aming mga kabataan, sa aming mga ordinaryong mamamayan na wala namang background sa law, wala namang background kung ano yung batas talaga, eto yung supreme arbiter kung ano yung right and kung ano yung wrong, no? Right or wrong. So, very important ito for us.
Oo, sa ating mga kabataan, GB. May tatanong ka kay Attorney J.
Attorney J. Ito, Attorney J.
Pero bago yan, si Kirby muna.
Kirby muna.
Alright, mula naman sa Facebook user, narinig niya raw sa mga impormasyon na meron daw nagsabi na si CJ Sereno ay gustong maging active pagdating sa mga social networking sites. Gaano raw po ba i-maximize yung paggamit nito ng Supreme Court?
Well, wala tayong taga-Korte Suprema dito, pero si Attorney Cayosa na lang, tanungin natin, is it advisable na gamitin ng Korte Suprema itong mga social networking sites? Since ginamit ito ng JBC, no, yung mga ibang tanong from Twitter ay ginamit nyo po ng public interview.
Okay, as far as the JBC is concerned, we welcome the use of social media as a means to find out what the public would want applicants. In fact, kahit yung mga opposition pwedeng i-email, no? And in fact, we have posted the website and the email addresses of the JBC. As far as the Supreme Court is concerned, expect it to be one way, in the sense that they will probably listen to what people will have to say through social media. But like I said, don't expect an answer similar to what they did during the interview. Rather, it should be reflected in how they decide. What they take into consideration, public sentiment perhaps, through their decisions. Because yun nga sinabi nyo na nabanggit ni Mr. Quiroz kanina na its content is very important. It's not just the rule of law, but also the applicability of certain laws in certain situations. And they should be able to clearly spell out the basis for making a decision based on the laws and based on the content of the controversies. So, ganun po.
Kirby?
Alright, balikan naman natin yung mga estudyante natin from Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Si Jairus Alarcon, may katanungan. Jairus?
Magandang hapon po. Ang tanong ko lang po, paano po nagtutulungan yung IBP at JBC sa pag-promote ng integrity, transparency, at accountability sa ating justice system?
Good question,
Attorney Trixie.
Paano nagtutulungan ng IBP at JBC? Actually, ang kinatawan ng IBP sa JBC ay si Attorney Mitoy. So, meron kaming direct participation dahil isang kasama sa constitution ng JBC ang IBP. So, represented ang bar doon. Paano kami nagpo-promote ng transparency and accountability? Well, this year, nung nag-umpisa yung search para sa bagong punong maestrado, nag-hold ng 2 forum ang IBP. At inimbita yung mga naging nominado para dun sa posisyon ng Chief Justice at para magsalita sa harap ng bar, ukol dun sa kanilang judicial philosophy at agenda para sa reforma. So in that sense, narinig natin bago pa in-interview ng JBC, karamihan ng mga kandidato. So second, in-encourage din namin, naglabas kami ng statement nung nagpakita by example ang bagong punong mahistrado ng pag-submit ng kanyang SALN, in-encourage din namin ang ibang mga mahistrado na mag-submit na rin for public perusal ng kanilang mga SALN. So in that sense, kami nagpo-promote kami in our own way. Now, as for the JBCC, Attorney Mitoy siguro ang pwedeng magsabi nun.
Tama ba yan, Attorney? The partnership between JBC and IBP, ang isa doon yan, to make sure that the IBP representative is good.
I like your term, partnership and not conspiracy. Okay, now, with respect to, as a representative of the IBP to the Judicial and Bar Council, I have the advantage of having a constituency to inquire. You know, like let's say kung merong isang aplikante magmula sa Davao, marami akong pwedeng pagtanungan ng mga practitioners kasi sila naman ang nakakaalam tungkol sa pagkatao ng ating mga aplikante sa for promotion or even just application sa regional trial courts or municipal trial court level. In the same way, we also have to consult. There are matters like, for instance, bar discipline. So we have to work closely together as partners. But I appreciated the suggestions that the IBP Board of Governors and the national officers did when they did a straw vote. But they did not bind me as a member because they know that I have also other ways of appreciating the qualities of the candidates. Kasi nagkaroon ng straw vote, they had 10 nominees. Unfortunately, I could not vote for 10. I could only vote for 8. And they natutuwa ako na nire-respeto namin ang isa't isa ang pananaw ng board, which not necessarily is reflected in the votes that I made, but I took into consideration the principles, and masabi din natin na I was happy that they had that forum since in the interview proper, 1 oras lang kami for every candidate. So there was very little time, and in reality, I only had 10 minutes. So definitely how you want to interview, na nakuha ito sa IBP forum. In fact, most of the questions that I asked were the presentations made by the candidates during the forum.
Thank you, ma'am. Kirby?
Alright, isa pang katanungan mula pa sa isang estudyante, si Charles Adrian Cruz naman. Charles?
Good afternoon po sa lahat. Bali, may katanungan po ako. Bilang mga kabataan, lagi po kami sinasabihan na dapat may alam po kami sa social issues. So, pero ano nga ba po yung mga expectations talaga sa kabataan para makatulong po sa kinabukasan ng bansa?
Siguro dito na representative ng mga estudyante. Sa kabataan, hindi na po pwede si Attorney Bong, hindi kabataan. si GB.
Pero ano yung expectation sa sa atin, parang gano'n. So ay simple lang, bumoto, makialam sa mga issues, magbasa ng news, etc. Mag-aral ng mabuti. Yun yung mga usual na dapat gawin ng mga kabataan, no? However, I think hindi mo rin naman masisisi yung mga kabataan if they are very much isolated from politics, because politics has become marketed as something very dirty. And that is what we are trying to do, is to get politics back into the table. Na if you want to get the corrupt people out of government, if you want to reform the judiciary, for example, you have to deal with politics talaga.
Speaking of corruption, gusto ko itanong ito kay Attorney JJ. Attorney J, wala daw magiging corrupt na huwes kung walang corrupt na abogadong nangungurap ng huwes. Ano ang tingin mong dapat posisyon or posture ng bagong Chief Justice sa pagdisiplina sa bar?
Dapat mas mahigpit, ubod ng higpit. Kasi hindi natin ikakaila ito, meron talagang mga practitioners na ang specialty ay ang chamber practice. Sa ayaw at sa gusto ng huwes.
Pag sinabing chamber practice para sa aming mga outsider.
Ito yan. Sa ayaw at sa gusto ng huwes, may mga abogado pong pilit na pumapasok doon sa inner sanctum ng korte. Yung inner sanctum pong yan po ang kwarto ng judge. At minsan naiisip ko rin, hindi kaya siguro dahil yung pag-a-apply bilang isang mahistrado, sometimes also depend on ilan yung endorsements mo. Pagkatapos nito, yung mga taong may kakilala doon sa nag-endorse sa kanila, magpapatulong na, pa-set mo naman akong appointment, which sa akin, pinukpok tayo ng gusto. Ayokong magsalita ng tapos, natatakot po ako, pero pinukpok tayo ng gusto sa legal ethics, legal and judicial ethics. For one, siguro, or kahit paano, itry po nating i-practice na on the merits tayo. Pagalingan na lang tayo magsulat, tsaka mag-argue orally. Yan ang gusto ko.
Yun ang gusto din natin yun. Dahil yung mga pulubi abogado na sa sipag lang, wala pong pangbayad sa mga suhol-suhol. So, mas magandang on the merits lahat.
Okay, kaya, well, marami pa sana tayong gustong talakayin pagdating sa reforma sa hudikatura, pero kulang na po ang ating oras. Hinga na lang natin ng huling mensahe ang ating mga guests.
Simulan natin dito sa kanan. Una, dun sa champion for women's rights. Ma'am, ano po ang inyong huling mensahe para sa ating mga kababayan at dito sa ating forum ngayong hapon?
Tuloy-tuloy ho kasi ang aming pag-aaral kung paano ma-improve. Kasi marami po kaming kilalang mga abogada throughout the Philippines na talagang tingin namin, bantayan talaga ang individual judges. Kasi kung nakabantay, medyo tumitino yata. Pero yung chamber justices na sinasabi mo, isa yun sa basic complaint nila. Nakipag-usap din kami sa mga stenographer. Kung minsan daw, ang yung mga judge pa rin ang nakikiusap na palitan yung record. Number 1 sa akin yan. Hindi ba? Hindi lamang yung chamber, kundi yung record ng stenographer, no? So, paano natin bantayan yan? Kaya po, sa tingin po namin, yung judicial reform ay pagtulong-tulungan natin. Hindi yan pwedeng isang tao lang ang babantay dyan. At saka yung tungkol po doon sa question ng kabataan, dapat po siguro kami mga may edad, talagang dapat mag-dialogue. Kasi iba po talaga utak ng mga kabataan ngayon Iba rin yung kanilang kanta nila, sayaw nila, ibang-iba doon sa aming generation.
Okay. Attorney Trixie, short message po para sa ating mga manonood.
Ang punong mahistrado ay isa lang sa 15. Okay? Maraming expectation sa kanya. And at the same time, marami na rin nagbabatikos. Dalawa lang ang hinihiling namin. One, bigyan natin siya ng pagkakataon. Bago pa lang siya. Marami pa siyang kailangan gawin. And second, let's be realistic. Isa pa lang siya At tapos kailangan pa niyang suyuin yung mga colleagues niya in the Supreme Court. So, we have to be patient and we have to give her a chance. Para rin, in the end, whether she flunks this or fails this, na hindi niya masasabi na hindi natin siya binigyan ng pagkakataon. Her success is our success. So, at best, dapat tulungan muna natin siya. If she still fails us, then we have every right to be angry. But right now, wala pa tayong basihan para i-judge siya. I use that term very loosely. I-judge siya because she's new. Let's give her a chance and let's be realistic about what she can do in the next few years.
Thank you, Attorney Trixie. If there's someone, I'm sure, who wishes her well na sana mag-succeed siya, never flunks her on her role sa pagiging Chief Justice, siguro si Attorney Milagros Fernan Cayosa na yon ng JBC, ma'am.
That's right, kasi binoto natin siya.
Yes,
Okay,
in-endorse niyo po siya.
Well, yes, and because she represents change, and I think that is what is the clamor now based on the results of your surveys. And I think that the survey would represent really what people feel from the way that we have interacted with the public. I would really like to thank everyone for participating. No, kasi nakatulong yan sa trabaho namin. Nakita rin namin yung tunay na pagkatao sa pagtatanong ninyo, hindi lang sa pagtatanong namin. But I would like to give emphasis to the query of the youth. Ano bang dapat natin gawin? It all boils down to values. Integrity kasi is very important. It's either you have it or you don't. Integrity. So kung alam nyo kung ano yung mga basic values na dapat meron kayo, honesty, simplicity, masipag kayo, I think we in the judiciary will not have a difficult time. We in the JBC will not have a difficult time. Kasi malay nyo, kahit na nagko-communications kayo, you might be the future lawyers. You might be the future judges.
Salamat po, ma'am.
that's why I would like you to go back to the basic values.
Alright, go back to the basics. Maganda yan. Samantala, hinga natin ang huling mensahe si Attorney Louis Sison.
The theme of the President's administration is walang mahirap kung walang corrupt. And I think that he appointed the Chief Justice on that basis. So I think the President expects the Chief Justice to rally the Supreme Court itself against corruption. And I think the Chief Justice, message ko ho sa Chief Justice to, that the Chief Justice should be unforgiving and unrelenting about corruption. If you notice the decisions of the Supreme Court on judges who have been found guilty of dishonesty, Supreme Court na ito, na-dismiss sila, na-forfeit ang mga benefits nila, but I think the Supreme Court should not stop there. And I have talked to certain Chief Justices about this. If they have been found guilty of dishonesty, I think the Supreme Court should go all the way. They should be disbarred and they should be sent to jail. Remember that the Vice President of the United States, who was also a lawyer, was not only sent to jail, he was also disbarred. So I think that is the way the Supreme Court can send a message that it is going to be unrelenting against corruption.
That's clear. Thank you, sir. Hinga natin ang huling mensahe, Attorney JJ Atienza.
And what really struck me today was the difference between dignified silence and transparency. Let us remember that dignified silence is not mutually exclusive with transparency. Dignified silence means making yourself scarce to issues that are not relevant to the dispensation of justice. And transparency means being ready, or it means utmost honesty when truth it means utmost honesty and the readiness to present truth when you are challenged. So, hindi siya exclusive, hindi sila nagtatalo. Pwede silang mamuhay ng payapa ang dignified silence, pati ang transparency.
Thank you, Attorney J.
Samantala, si Attorney Bong Ifurong naman ang kanyang huling mensahe sa ating mga manonood.
Ako, hindi ko kasi style yung huli-huling mensahe. Pero anyway, ang napapansin ko, being a practitioner for more than 25 years, kuminsan kasi mabagal talaga yung mga judges. Ewan ko ba kung bakit. So, ang suggestion ko, pag na-delay sila ng pag-resolve ng isang motion or mga simple motion na, kunyari, nasa rules naman, napakaklaro na within, let's say, yung basic motion lang na, kuminsan kasi yung ibang lawyers, they take advantage of the rules, no? So, nakikita ko, basta may motion na mga simple, that it should be resolved with this. Yung pinatatagal pa parang dun yata yung corruption So, nagiging, the way I see it parang yun yung nagiging, paano ko ba sasabihin to? Parang nagiging mitya ng corruption dahil nagmamadali ka, di ba? So, parang you are tempted to do it. So, kung ang judge hindi niya ginawa yung trabaho niya within a certain period, he should be automatically penalized without us complaining against him. Kasi pag kami nag-complain against judges, minamarkahan din yata kami na yan, mareklamo yun against siya. So, so we are very careful about that. So, I think one of the reforms should be an automatic penalization of judges who are delayed in rendering decisions, resolving motions, or whatever na nasa table nila. They should do it with dispatch.
Salamat po, Attorney Bong Ifurong. Ang susunod po, Presidente po siya ng Student Council Alliance of the Philippines, GB Gores.
18 years pa bago siya maabot yung kanyang retirement age, nag-trend sa Twitter yung CJ Pasisireno. So kung puti na yung buhok ko, CJ Pasisireno, may 3 anak na ako, baka si CJ Pasisireno. So ngayon, yung mga kabataan, ang mga pinakamalaking stake dito sa judicial reforms na gusto nating mapasa sa Supreme Court. And because of that, we should be demanding the most out of the Supreme Court headed by Chief Justice Sereno. At yung pagdemand na ito, hindi pwedeng pessimist demand, kundi yung optimist siya na sinusuportahan natin siya, pero at the same time we see to it that justice is being delivered through ma-expedite yung processes, ma-clear of corruption yung Supreme Court at ating mga courts. So ganun. Salamat.
Thanks, JB.
And last but not the least, Conrado de Quiros.
I think si CJ Sereno will have 18 years to prove herself. Pero right now, Ako, bullish ako dun sa pagkaka-appoint sa kanya for a couple of reasons. Yung una, I think, dahil babae siya eh. Ibig sabihin ba, mas magaling yung babae? Posible. Pag hindi ko sinabi, baka batukan ako ng mga kilala kong babae. Hindi, pero hindi lang yan eh. It's like this. Sa US, hindi ba, pag sabi nila, kapag ka itim ka na colonel, malamang mas magaling ka kaysa sa general na puti. Kasi bago ka maging colonel, kung itim ka, dadaan ka sa butas ng karayom. And I think it's the same way here. Para makataas ka ng ganyan level kapag kababae ka, dadaan ka sa butas ng karayom. So she's probably very, very good at what she does. Yung pangalawa, I think, I'm bullish about it dahil makita naman natin sa survey despite yung mga reklamo ng mga tao na baka maging lucky siya, baka hindi maging independent, makita mo may tiwala sa kanyang mga tao. And I think it comes from credibility. May tiwala dun sa appointing power, who is Pinoy, at may tiwala rin dun sa in-appoint, who is Sereno.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Conrad De Quiros. At sa bawat paglipat po ng pahina ng ating kasaysayan, ay hindi na dapat natin pabayaan na sina lamang po ang kikilos, kundi dapat tayo rin po ay makiisa para maipatupad ang mga reformang ninanais natin para sa ating bansang Pilipinas. Muli ako po si Cathy San Gabriel.
At ako naman po si Kirby Cristobal, kasama ang lahat ng estudyante sa buong bansa. Lagi po natin natandaan, ang pangyayaring ganito ay hindi po hadlang para maging ang kasarian o edad ay maging hadlang para maging isang tunay na magaling leader ng bansa. Bagkus ang dapat po nating tandaan ay magpatupad ng nararapat na polisiyang mag-uugnay sa ating mga Pilipino. Muli po, ako po si Kirby Cristobal.
At para po sa ating lahat na nagnanais na makakita ng isang bansang matatag at malago, napakahalaga po ng hustisya. At para po mapatupad ng tamang hustisya sa ating bansa, kinakailangan po natin ang judicial reform. Pero alam po natin sa ating discussion ngayong hapon na judicial reform is a work in progress. Hindi po siya natatapos sa appointment ni CJ Sereno. At syempre, nasabi po natin kanina, simula pa rin po ito. We cannot wish her ill. She cannot fail. Kasi po, kung hindi po magtrabaho ng maayos si CJ Sereno, kawalan po yun sa ating lahat. Kawalan po yun sa ating demokrasya, kawalan sa ating hudikatura. Kaya, importante pong lahat tayo, mga mamamayan, mga abogado, lahat po ng nasa gobyerno, bantayan po natin ang ating judiciary, bantayan po natin ang ating Chief Justice, pero kailangan din pong suportahan at ipagdasal. Kaya, muli po, magbabalik po kami lagi dito sa PTV4 para ihatid sa inyo ang mga mahalagang diskusyon, impormasyon para sa ating kaalaman. Ako po si Attorney Mark Castrodes. Hanggang sa muli, sumubaybay po kayo dito sa Judicial Reform, the next Chief Justice, a special PTV Forum.